1 year ago today, more than 100 people were killed on the Hawaiian island of Maui in what would become the deadliest wildfire in U.S. history. 14,000 residents lost their homes and the entire town of Lahaina was destroyed. While most of the debris has been removed, the fire continues to take a toll on the island. Tourism has declined, and Maui residents need that income to rebuild. We go back, and you may recall I was in Maui during the wildfires, what started as a vacation, then turned into us taking part in the coverage. We spoke with many families whose lives were uprooted. Well, now there's a major push to encourage visitors to return to the island, a collaborative effort from two men in Hawaii with very close ties to our area. On August 8th, 2023, wildfires ripped through the historic town of Lahaina, burning more than 2,000 buildings on the island of Maui. Winds fanned the flames, thick black smoke impeded evacuation efforts, and downed power lines made it near impossible to communicate. As residents return home, many are finding they have nothing to return home to. Homes, businesses, and cultural sites were destroyed, and the loss of the island's tourism hub was in the billions. CBS Philadelphia was the only station from our region to cover the fires in Maui. I spoke with Lahaina resident Spud Spelnick, who told me he lost everything.
The embers just ripping 60 to 80 mile an hour winds. I make it to Waiandea Street. I'm as far as I'm sick.
Major strides have been made.
Pennsylvania native and Hawaii Governor Josh Green graduated from Swarthmore College and went to medical school at Penn State. Speaking with CBS Philadelphia from his office in Hawaii, the governor says residents are healing and starting to rebuild.
We're making incredible progress. A lot of people tell me we're 3 or 4 years ahead of what other states were as far as doing this. And we wanted to do that because if a person relocates to the mainland, it's difficult to ever come back. And so we felt we had to expedite everything.
Spivak, who I've stayed in touch with this past year, is one of those residents living in temporary housing. He just sent me these photos saying, "I'm blessed to be here. First time trying out the RV life and living in tents, but glad to be safe. Lahaina strong." The Federal Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives has not released its report on the origin and cause of the wildfires, but officials say the flames were largely fueled by non-native grasses. You very recently signed into law very strict penalties for people who are not taking care of their land and creating a fire hazard.
We're also fortifying that new law with a lot of extra fire break roads. So I have our Department of Transportation cutting all sorts of fire break. We put technology in also in and around all of these places so that there's extra sensors and weather monitors, not just West Maui, but all the different hotspots in Hawaii. You have to invest in these kind of preventive measures in an era with climate change.
I have never experienced something quite like the ohana, that love and that family that you feel on Maui during such a tragic time. Were you blown away by that?
I was. There were people that just set the rest of their life aside, even if they weren't in the region that was burned down. And they took months off to take other people in. We had to find essentially homes for 3,000 households. The hotels in the region set everything else aside and just worked with us. Hotels like the Four Seasons Maui at Waialea, just miles away from the fire.
I'm so proud of the team here.
Lower Merion native Ben Shank is the resort's general manager.
Our entire ballroom was set up. Half of it was for food supplies that employees could bring home and give to family members or neighbors or anybody that needed it. The other side of our ballroom was actually running laundry for shelters. We housed residents here, first responders, healthcare workers.
Shank, who led the opening of the Four Seasons here in Philadelphia, says the wildfires dealt a multi-billion-dollar blow to Maui's economy, where 80% revolves around tourism.
The biggest way that someone can support the island and the overall community is actually by coming and traveling here. We're encouraging tourists to explore everything both on the resort but in the local community. So we're encouraging eat in local restaurants, shop at different art galleries, do different excursions.
And fewer tourists mean less crowds. In an effort to change that, flights to the island are more affordable, as are hotel rooms.
Really now is the time to come back, both from a value and an experience standpoint.
It's really a testament to Pennsylvanians when you think that you're over there with Governor Green and the two of you have roots right here.
It's the 1 degree of Philadelphia area, the 1 degree of separation that keeps us all linked.
Well, in the meantime, the governor says that they are doing what they can to stop investors from buying land in Maui and making it difficult for locals like Bud Spelnick and Ben's staff members to rebuild.